Here's what's happening in Iran. A growing number of women are deciding to alter their natural appearance through cosmetic procedures. This trend is dangerously spreading just like wildfire, with many women choosing surgeries to change their natural facial features. Interestingly, Iran has become a go-to country for these cosmetic surgeries. It has the highest rates of nose jobs, buttock lifts, and lip fillers among women. And what's even more surprising is that this trend isn't just limited to locals. People from around the world are flying to Iran for these procedures, particularly for nose jobs. Before we begin, let's make sure we're all on the same page. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing. Your support really helps us out. Now let's break down this topic in a way that's easy for you to follow. Before the rise of American pop culture and celebrities like the Kardashians, cosmetic surgeries were already catching on in Iran. The fascination with changing one's appearance through surgical procedures existed there long before the Kardashians gained fame. It's a trend that has its own roots in Iranian culture, separate from Western influences. In Iran, women are often praised for their natural beauty, which includes features like balanced faces, mesmerizing eyes, and radiant skin. But cultural and religious customs in Iran promote modesty, so women typically cover up their bodies and faces. This means that many Iranian women can't freely show off their natural beauty. Still, the longing for beauty and self-expression persists strongly. That's why many women in Iran choose cosmetic surgeries to enhance their features while staying true to their cultural and religious values. Surprisingly, Iran happens to be the nation where the most amount of nose jobs are done. You must be wondering, what might be the potential reason behind that? Lots of Iranian women go for cosmetic surgeries because they feel like they need to match up to Euro-centric beauty standards. You know, those standards that mostly favor features you'd typically find in European countries. It's like they feel pressured to look a certain way, so they turn to surgeries to try and fit in better with that ideal. When we talk about Euro-centric standards of beauty, we're basically referring to those ideals that often favor features commonly found in Europe. Think about fair skin, straight or wavy hair, slim noses, and certain body shapes. These standards have had a big say in shaping what we consider beautiful globally. But hey, it's super important to recognize and celebrate beauty in all its forms from every corner of the world. Every culture brings its own unique beauty to the table, and that's something worth appreciating and respecting, don't you think? According to a study from Harvard University, people in the Middle East and East Asia are kind of into Eurocentric beauty standards. They tend to prefer women who have fair skin and look a bit more like European ladies. So, when we talk about Eurocentric beauty standards, we're basically saying that they tend to favor women who look a bit more like European ladies. You know, with smaller noses, fair skin, and pink lips. That kind of thing. Now let's rewind a bit and talk about history. Back in the day, when Europeans were traveling to far-off lands, they'd often take control over the local communities there. These communities shared a lot of things in common, like language, religion, and traditions. But here's the thing. When the Europeans arrived, they didn't exactly play fair. They pretty much imposed their own rules and laws on the locals, and sometimes even took advantage of their resources for their own benefit. It wasn't a great time for everyone involved, to say the least. So because of all that history with colonization, there's this idea that people with fair skin, smaller noses, and blonde hair are the most beautiful. And because of that, some Iranian women feel like they need to look like American models and actresses to be seen as beautiful on a global scale. Let's talk about Seher Tabar. She's an Iranian actress who got a lot of attention in 2019 when she had plastic surgery to try and look like Angelina Jolie. But, let's just say the results weren't exactly what she was hoping for. Instead of looking like Angelina, she ended up with this really thin and kinda strange version of her. Besides all the historical stuff, there's another reason why Iranian women might be super into getting cosmetic surgeries. They want to increase their chances of snagging a partner they see as, well, better or more suitable. It's just like they think if they change their appearance to fit these beauty standards, they'll have a better shot at finding love or getting married to someone they admire. It's a lot of pressure, but unfortunately, it's something that a lot of women deal with. According to an article in The Guardian discussing the surge in nose jobs in Iran, another big reason why Iranian women might be so fixated on cosmetic surgery is the desire to attract the male attention. The article interviewed several women about this trend, and while there were different opinions, one common theme emerged. Many women saw surgery as a way to land a better husband. It's understandable, right? Wanting to appeal to the gender you're attracted to is pretty universal. But here's the thing. Iranian culture is quite different from Western norms. Women in Iran often have fewer opportunities to pursue their own desires, whether it's in their careers or personal lives. So for many Iranian women, finding a fulfilling life through marriage while sticking to conservative values becomes a big priority. That's why the desire to attract potential partners and ensure a happy marriage could be a major motivation for many Iranian women seeking cosmetic enhancements. But there might be even deeper reasons behind all this. Plus, let's not forget about the influence of mainstream media on people in Iran. It's a whole complex situation. According to the Persian doctor Dr. Benjamin Rafi, the Persians have been greatly influenced by European and American beauty standards. Consequently, many Iranian women perceive features that do not align with these standards, particularly their noses, as ugly. This perception is not limited to older generations, but also affects younger Iranians, who are increasingly influenced by mainstream media. Social media platforms like Instagram and Hollywood red carpets showcase influencers and celebrities with flawless bodies, free of any blemishes or imperfections. This idealized beauty standard often motivates Iranian women to undergo cosmetic surgeries to attain a more westernized appearance. Despite the appeal of flawless celebrity beauty, it is important to note that many celebrities themselves undergo cosmetic procedures to achieve these looks. Before and after pictures often reveal the extent of these enhancements, highlighting the often unattainable nature of mainstream beauty standards. Toxic beauty standards have a tight grip on the whole world, and Iran is definitely not immune to them. The surge in nose jobs in Iran is just one example of how these standards can influence people's decisions about their appearance. In the documentary The Iranian Nose, they talk about how Iranian youth deal with bullying and racism when they travel abroad because of their noses. It's sad to see that even though these noses are common in Iran, they're seen as ugly by others. According to a research from Vice News, getting a nose job has become a symbol of wealth, power, and social class in Iran. It's not just the rich who are getting them anymore. Even middle-class folks are jumping on the bandwagon. It's like there's this unwritten rule that to fit in with the society, you need to have certain features. And sadly, these toxic beauty standards have become more normalized than ever in Iranian society. That's why we're seeing so many nose jobs and other surgeries happening. But here's the thing, beauty standards shouldn't be used to pressure women into changing how they look. Everyone is beautiful in their own way, with different features that reflect their ethnicity and culture. If we keep going like this, we might end up with a world where everyone looks the same, and that's not something we want, is it? Research suggests that Instagram's algorithm is intentionally designed to make people feel insecure about their appearance. This is especially true for teenage girls, who are at a vulnerable stage in their lives, still developing physically. When girls see images on Instagram of seemingly flawless individuals, it can make them feel like their own bodies are inadequate or flawed. For example, if they have acne or other imperfections, they may feel like they need to fix themselves to fit in or to be accepted. Unfortunately, the algorithm tends to show more content that reinforces these insecurities, creating a cycle where girls feel like they need to constantly strive for an unattainable standard of beauty. It's like going down a rabbit hole, where the more you see, the worse you feel about yourself. According to research from Kenyon College, TikTok's beauty algorithm tends to favor creators who fit into Western beauty standards. This means people with features considered more Western are more likely to go viral on the platform. Sadly, TikTok also has trends that encourage surgery or changing your appearance to fit these standards. This makes people feel like they need to alter themselves to be accepted or to be popular on the app. Social media, especially platforms like Instagram and TikTok, can really mess with our heads when it comes to how we feel about ourselves. We are bombarded with images of what's supposed to be perfect, and it can make us feel like we're not good enough just as we are. But here's the thing, a lot of those images aren't even real. They're heavily edited or filtered. It's like comparing ourselves to an impossible standard, and it's not healthy. There are many reasons why Iran has seen a big increase in people getting cosmetic surgeries, especially nose jobs. Lots of research articles have looked into this, including the historical stuff. But one big reason seems to be that women from poorer countries like Iran don't see themselves represented much in mainstream media. Because of this, they might feel like they don't match up to what's considered beautiful, which makes them want to get surgeries. Also, living in a conservative society where women are expected to cover up their beauty and just focus on finding a husband can make things even worse. It puts a lot of pressure on women to look a certain way to attract a partner. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.